All right, I don't know if this is working or not. I think so. This I just bought today. This is number 5 or 6. Raspberry rose hip wheat. Fucking good. Good. Might be all over the place because Leroy and Ellie is still off on the side. Had to get my traditional buffalo trace ready. This might be a long video. Man. I've been trying to do this video for the last 6 months. Finally got a chance. The weather's perfect. It's Saturday evening. I was going to try to go to the lake, take the dogs out to the lake, maybe do some fishing or something, but Leroy just had a major surgery 2 days ago. He had like a 2-pound mass underneath his leg, front leg. I mean, it grew fast, like in the last few months. And I tried to get 2 other vets to take care of it, but they wouldn't or couldn't. And I explained that in a few other videos. So far he's doing great. We sent the mass off, a piece of the mass off to get a biopsy. So hopefully we'll know something in the next week. But anyway, I'm Charlie, by the way. For those of you who do not know who I am, I wanted to do this video on why I chose to travel full-time. Or let me back up. Why I chose to sell everything I had, buy a travel trailer / toy hauler, and hit the road full-time with 6 dogs. Every time I say that, I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm like the cat lady, but the dog dude. That's weird, even just saying it, but I don't care. Come here, buddy. Buddy's outside trying to come around. But I took some notes to kind of make sure I catch all the talking points that I wanted to talk about. Just had them up. Okay. So I left. Let me back up. Somebody's coming. So I left February of last year, but say 4 or 5 months before that, maybe even longer, I was, for some reason I searched Zillow for my house. I think it's because the house prices were just going up like crazy. So I'm like, well, let me check Zillow and see what the price is, and, you know, what the estimate is on my house. And so I checked Zillow, and I paid like $260, $270 for my house, or not, maybe lower than that, maybe $220 or something. And Zillow had my house at like $380, $390. And I'm like, my house was paid for because I spent 3 years in Afghanistan as a NATO contractor, like 3 almost straight years, working 80+ hours a week, like 1 vacation a year. So I was able to come back and pay for my house. And so I'm like, holy crap, this is freaking amazing. And I had a lot of bills with my business, had a lot of personal bills backed up, and I was really just, at the time I was working just barely surviving, you know. I was kind of working more, like I say to people all the time, I was working in my business and not on my business, you know, so, or vice versa, I forgot how that goes. Anyway, I shouldn't have been doing all the manual labor in my business. I should have been working on growing my business, and I was not doing that, and I could not do that. Thankfully, Leroy, stop licking your wound, or you're gonna get that boot. Sorry, don't. He can't really lick it anyway, but he's trying to. Just like right here on his chest. Leroy, stop. So, anyway, I'm like, holy moly. And at the time, you know, I was working 80+ hours a week on my business. And I had been doing that for years. I mean, I remember there was like 3 years I didn't even do anything. I mean, I was excited to go to Lowe's. And that's no way to live. So, I saw that my house was, you know, stop, Tully. I saw that my house was, you know, at a pretty good estimate. And then all of a sudden, I had a friend pass away. Family members get sick. I'm working 80+ hours a week. And then I had been following this chick who had been living in a Prius for like 2 years, and she's in a camper van now, and I want to say she's got 300,000 or 400,000 followers. For some reason, I was following her, and I found out about BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, and National Forest land. Okay, so they don't have those in Arkansas where I grew up, and they didn't have them in Alabama, or there's not really any in the South. You may, no National Forest, no national BLM land. And I found out you can stay in BLM land and National Forest land for 2 weeks at a time, before you have to go. Most of them. Some of them, like San Juan, you can stay 2 weeks, drive 3 miles down the road and stay another 2 weeks. Most will tell you, you got to stay 2 weeks, leave the forest for like 28 days, and then you can come back. So I'm like, hold on. I mean, I can do this full time. Then I started doing some research and, searching YouTube, and there's a ton of people that does this full time. And I've never even heard of that, and there's a ton of traveling nurses that do that as well. So ended up doing the research and found out about Quartzsite, Arizona, which is like the mecca of full-time travelers. And people go there in the wintertime for like 4 or 5 months, and it's like $180 where you can stay. You get water, stop Tully. You get trash, and you get what else? Dump. You can dump your shit for 4 months for like $180. I was like, where's from November to April? 6 months. I'm like, holy moly, this is crazy. So everybody goes there for the winter time, and then when it starts getting hot, they start moving up north, and they stay in BLM and National Forest land and just do the same thing pretty much. Although they got to provide their own water and trash and dump. So I'm like, you mean I can sell everything, buy a travel trailer, get rid of my old truck, which I love my old truck. I had it since 07. It was a 1500. It was not big enough to pull this trailer. So I had to get a new truck and then hit the road full time and just get to travel. So at the time, Starlink had been out as well. So I paid like $140 a month, I think, for internet through Starlink. And so I'm like, and at the time I was already doing pretty much everything remote as it was for my business. So let me talk about that as well, my business. I was not wanting to tell too many people what I was wanting to do, because the few people I did tell, stop, Tully, please, man, stop. I love you, man. The few people that I did tell were like, so you're shutting your business down? And I'm like, and I got to thinking, I'm like, I'm telling my friends this, and they're thinking I'm shutting my business down. What's going to happen if I tell everyone, right? So I try not to talk about it too much. So I had a storefront years ago in Gadsden. When a few years before COVID hit, I shut the storefront down, stopped Tully, and built a shop in my backyard. We had automated screen printing equipment, had embroidery, presses. I had people working for me. It was an awesome setup. And by that time, I had been in the promotional products industry for about 5 or 6 years. Now it's been almost 10. And I had established a lot of contacts that allowed me to convert my entire business online. And I still had people working for me. So I'm like, okay, so I can get a Starlink, I can work remotely, I can live on BLM land / National Forest land. Fuck RV parks. I don't touch RV parks. I don't touch any place. If I can see somebody, I'm too close to them, because I'm not going to leash my dogs if I can help it. I want them to run free, as long as they're not around anybody. Tully, please, bro. I love you, man, but I can't touch you 24/7. I want to. So we don't touch RV parks. We don't pay for places. I paid one time, and that was north of Moab, Utah, because it was just a rough time of our traveling. Stop. We couldn't really find a place to stay. So the only place we found was like $20 a night. And I paid for one night and then headed back to Arizona until I can regroup. And that's a whole nother story. Anyway, so we've been traveling since last February the 16th, and it's now May the 18th. I paid for one night. Other than that, we've stayed in BLM land, National Forest land, and to be honest, 2 months I think I went back home and helped my father out at his shop. So other than that, it's been free to stay. Now, obviously, I pay for water and gas and food and all that stuff. Sit down here, Tully, man. I'm trying to talk. Sit down. So, he's messing me up. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. There you go. Good job, man. Thank you, brother. So, I'm sitting at the house, and all this starts adding up. Friends passing away, family members getting sick. I'm working 80+ hours a week. I'm getting comfortable in my current situation. And what I mean by that, I'm getting comfortable by going out to my shop, working all day long, coming in, watching TV. I don't really watch TV, but sitting by the computer, going to sleep, waking up, doing the same thing. And I had been doing that for a few years. I'm like, I was getting comfortable doing that. And I'm like, one day I'm going to go to sleep and wake up and I'm going to be 80 doing the same fucking shit. He just farted. And I'm like, no, that's not me. That's not me. And it's like they always say, the comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. I don't like being comfortable. I don't want to be comfortable. Sometimes it happens. I don't want that. So I'm like, okay, we got to roll. And I've always been that person. I've always been that guy that left all my friends behind in Arkansas, joined the military, been to 15 different places, deployed to Iraq and Afghanistan, Africa, and got out, and then went here, there. Even I was in Kabul for 3 years, working for NATO. Before that, I worked for the DOD, and I traveled for 2 years. So I traveled for 2 years, worked for the DOD, then I lived in Kabul for 3 years. I mean, I've just been all over the place my entire life. So it was really weird knowing that I stayed in Alabama for like 6 years. So where was I at? I started adding all that up. I'm like, okay, fuck this. I'm putting my house up for sale. So put it up for sale, and ended up doing an extremely amount of work. A lot of work to sell my house. I showed my house, I want to say 20 something times, and I was not happy with the situation of me having to do that 20 something times. I called my friends, my friend Joey and Sherry. Joey's a mortgage manager, Sherry's a real estate agent. Very, very successful, very successful. Told her the situation. She said, you need to have your real estate agent start showing these houses. If you know, at that time I was like 15 showings. She's like, you need to get your real estate agent involved. Tried to get him involved. I think he went to one showing, and after that, didn't go any other showings. So that was a rough experience, you know. Anyway, ended up selling the house. Bought this 24-foot with the V-neck and the tongue. It's like 30 foot. So it was a 30-foot trailer. Bought a 2020 Ram 2500. You've probably seen it in my other videos. And hit the road. Was it scary? Fuck yeah. It was scary. Yeah. But you know what? It's either I do this or I go to sleep tomorrow and wake up 80 years old and my life's over with. That was my mentality, you know? So I'm like, fuck it, I'm hitting the road. We're gonna do this and we're gonna make it work. So to reiterate, it was a compilation of different things. It was, you know, my house, the market was perfect for me to sell my house. Family members getting sick, and I'm seeing these family members are like, you know, so much more life left to live, and you know, I don't know what's going to happen with them, you know. And you know, I got friends passing away. Same way with them. There's so much more life to live, and all of a sudden they pass away, and it's like, you know, I guarantee you, if they'd had another chance, they would have done things differently. And then my dog started getting a little bit older, and I'm like, you know, these dogs are my family, like my family. Like I would John Wick a motherfucker to make sure my dogs are taken care of. And they're getting older, and I want them to live the best life. You know, when I took Leroy to the to get his surgery, it hurt when I had to go back in the back and put him in the cage. It hurt. You know, I've never seen Leroy in a cage. I've seen him in a cage one time when he had parvo, when he was a little puppy. But putting Leroy, the freest dog I've ever seen, in the cage, it hurt me. It hurt me. I don't want any of my dogs to go through that, but And it just starts to remind me of these people that are rehoming their animals or giving their dogs away. You know, they're the biggest piece of fucking shit there is, man. And I will die on this hill. I will fucking die on this hill. If you're giving your dog away, excuse me, if you're giving your dog away, rehoming your dog, or if you're sharing a friend, family member, or somebody who's doing the same thing, you're a piece of fucking shit. You know? Because I couldn't imagine giving one of my dogs away. Or walking Leroy or somebody into the back of the Humane Society and putting them in a cage and leaving and never going back. You're just a fucking piece of shit, man. Anyway, I didn't want to go off on that tangent. It's just been on my mind since I put Leroy in the cage so he can get surgery. But so I added all this up and I started doing my research. Like, I mean, I had this big spreadsheet together of, you know, GPS coordinates of where I wanted to go. One tab, another tab had all these different hiking equipment. Another tab had all this other equipment like generators and what kind of survival equipment I need, first aid equipment. You know, I had another tab of the type of trailer I had, tires, truck, the tires in the truck. I mean, all this, I had everything put together in this one spreadsheet. And I'm like, we're about to do this. And I had all this software I downloaded and everything. And February the 16th, I think we hit the road for Quartzsite, Arizona. But let me back up. I just thought about this. When I decided to do this, let me take a sip on this. I started telling my friends and family what I was going to do. And I would do anything to get a picture of the expression on their faces. It was, and I'm not judging them because I was there at one time. I was there. This guy's selling everything, hitting Colorado. This guy's selling everything, going traveling full time. What is he thinking, you know? But I mean, that's our mentality. That's how we're brought up, you know? And most people. But when I was telling them what I was doing, they're like, I wish you the best, you know? And I could see it in their eyes. They're like, this crazy motherfucker, man, you know? And maybe I am. But I'm not going to die not trying to live life. I know that much. I'm not going to die sitting in the same fucking location my whole life. And again, I'm going back to what I just said. I'm not judging people for doing that. If that's what you want to do it. But I got friends and family members complaining about their life every single day and they're not doing nothing about it. Every time I have an issue in life, no matter what it is, if it's trying to figure out how to get water for me and the dogs to a more complex situation with my business, as soon as I have that problem, the first thing I think of is how can I fix this? I don't think of I'm going to keep complaining about this problem over and over again for the next 5, 6 months, year, 2 years. No. If I have an issue or a problem, I'm going to start working on fixing it, period. That's just where I am. I don't know where I got that from. It's just where I am. So when I hear these people complaining about their life, their work, their family members, their significant other, whatever, and they do it over and over again, it comes to a point where I'm like, I don't want to hear it anymore. And I love listening to people's issues because, a lot of times people just need an ear, But when you complain over and over again, you do nothing about it, it's just, I don't know. I can't comprehend that. I just cannot comprehend that. But anyway, when I was telling people that, it was, and I know a lot of people, I know for a fact, I can't prove this, I know for a fact, a lot of people did not think I was going to make this. A lot of people thought deep down inside, we do this for a few months and then come back and buy something on the side and just do whatever. We're 15 months going strong. And as of today, May the 18th, it's been the best decision of my life to do this. Look where I'm at. I'm in the middle of the forest in Colorado. Beautiful day. I get to camp every single day. Don't get me wrong, I still wake up every single morning, buddy, no, and work all day, every day on my business. As a matter of fact, Absolute Promotional is this is the best year we've ever had in the business so far. And I know a lot of people, they ask me all the time, they're like, are you still doing Absolute? Even 15 months later, yeah, I'm still doing it all day, every day. I'm still hustling. Just because I'm not in Alabama doesn't mean I'm not working. I work on this business all day, every day, 10, 12, 14 hours still. And it's showing off. Me and my buddy Pat, who works for me as well, we're kicking ass this year. I mean, it's showing, and I'm blessed, thankful. So anyway, so fast forward, we hit the road, and first place to go to is Quartzsite, Arizona, which is like the Mecca. So I wanted to go there, kind of get my feet wet. Went there, and first few weeks, there was a few times I did wake up. I was like, what the fuck did I do? I mean, like pouring down rain, storming, the trailer shaking, dogs nervous, going crazy. You know, a few things not working like it should because I'm new to all this, you know, and I was like, what the fuck did I just do, man? I'll never forget that. And but after a few weeks, about a month, I guess, and I'm like, I got a little bit of routine down. Come on up here, man. You can do it. There, my buddy. I love you. We got a routine down, and I was like, we started kicking ass. One day I woke up, it was like 78, 80 degrees. I want to say it was like March. No, probably about April. I'm like, I'm going to Colorado, you know? And I'm new to all this, but that's where I am. Like, I'll get an itch, and I'm like, I'm gone. So we all drive to Colorado. I got these places picked out on this. It's an app that I use for BLM/National Forest land. And we get up to Colorado, we drive like 12 hours. We get up there like 2 in the morning on top of a mountain, and it snowed in, and blocked off. And I have no way to turn around. I ended up having to jackknife my trailer, leave there, go to like Moab, I think I told you about. Couldn't find a place to stay there, and I got so frustrated, I literally went from Colorado back to Quartzsite, Arizona to regroup. So we went to Quartzsite, regrouped, and I was like, look, from now on, when I go to travel to a new place, it's a 3 to 5 hour max drive, period. No more of this 12, 14-hour drives, you know, because this is, you get there, you're tired, and if somebody's in the spot that you picked out, you don't want to go through that. And I learned that just because it's nice weather in Quartzsite, Arizona, it doesn't mean it's nice weather in Colorado, you know. Same thing happened here, like last week. I picked out a few spots that I was here last year. We got here Wednesday, and there was people in every single spot. We literally had to park in the little entryway to the National Forest, you know, for the night. So you just never know. So one of the lessons I learned was lack of preparation. So we came back to Quartzsite, regrouped, and then we ended up leaving Quartzsite and going to northeast Arizona, the Apache Sitgreaves, however you say that. And great time outside of Heber, Arizona. And then we left Apache, went to Pagosa. And then we left Pagosa after my dad got sick and went back to Arkansas, and I helped him for two or 3 months. And then left Arkansas, went to South Dakota, to the Badlands. And it was beautiful. That's out at Wall, South Dakota, which is Wall Drug is there, which is, if you know about Wall Drug, it's one of the biggest tourist spots there is. It's a whole story behind it. It's phenomenal. Went there and went to Rapid City, stayed in the Black Hills, left Rapid City, South Dakota, went to Wyoming, stayed in the Black Hills because the Black Hills overlap South Dakota, Wyoming. We left there. Went to Bighorn National Forest. Stop, stay here. Bighorn's outside of Sheridan. There's a famous author from that area that I been reading, that my friend told me about, and I forgot his name. Because I remember being at a place eating breakfast. No, Lucy, good Lord, y'all killing me, man. Yeah, wait till I get on this right here and you start. What is the name of that daggum? Craig Johnson. Anyway, went to Bighorns, and then it started getting cold there, so we had to start going south and ended up in Kaibab, whatever. That's North Arizona on the northern rim of the Grand Canyon. And then went on back down to Yuma, where we stayed for 4 or 5 months, November to like February, March. And the Yuma was awesome. But we stayed in what they call the LTVA, which is a long-term visitor access. Excuse me, just like what I was talking about earlier, where you pay $180. So, and then left there, went to Arkansas, Alabama for a reunion, for a military reunion in Florida, and then came back to Alabama to see some friends there. Then Arkansas, left Arkansas, drove all the way back to Arizona to Apache Sitgreaves. I was going to go to Yuma, but it was a longer drive, and we had been driving for 20 hours, I guess. So I ended up going back to Apache Sitgreaves outside of Heber, Arizona, and then now we're here. So why am I doing this? I kind of told you why I did it. Why am I videoing all this right here? Mainly to, keep a record of our travels with me and the dogs, my family, but also to maybe motivate some people to, try to do something like this, or get out of the house and change your life. I mean, what's his name? Tony Robbins once said, and I don't listen to those influencers anymore, but back when I used to listen to all his tapes and CDs and stuff like that, I remember him saying, you're born dying. And I think about that every day. I think about that, I don't think, like, too many people, I think, subconsciously think they're going to live forever, which is why they do what they do. Me, I'm like, I'm probably going to die tomorrow, so I got to make the best of every single day. And I think that's a good mentality to have, because if you don't, you're going to be on your deathbed at 80 years old wondering, why didn't I do this, or this? And it's fucking too late now, And I see people every day going through the same shit every day, and they won't change. And at 47, I'm done trying to change people. I'm done trying to motivate people. You're a grown person. Lucy, stop. Go. You're a grown person. I mean, you know what you got to do. That's what gets me with people. It's like, you know what needs to be done. You won't do it. I told a friend of mine who I was trying to help out, I had to kick him out. But before he left, I said, look, man, I said, life is not some scientific equation. It's not that difficult, man. It's like, you do the things that benefit you to get you moving forward and ahead, and you don't do the things that are negative to you in your life. I don't understand how people can't get that. But, a lot of people can't, and a lot of people are going to die at 80 years old and wondering what the hell happened in their life. It ain't going to be me. I guarantee you that. I've seen too many people die before their time. And there's a lot of people out there who would love to be in our place right now to live life. And they're not. So we got to do the best with what we have and take advantage of what we have for those people, And I'm going to do that every single day, Are there any negatives out on the road? No. I mean, I miss going to the gym. I mean, like, the gym is a mental thing for me. Like right here, I'm a member of Anytime Fitness, which don't get me started on that. And there's none around here. There was none in Apache Sitgreaves area. There was one about an hour away. And let me clarify, an hour away from Heber, which is the closest town to where I was staying at, or where we were staying at. There's none around here. And it's kind of hard to get motivated out here in the middle of nowhere with no equipment. But I do miss going to the gym. Other than that, I don't see any negatives, period. But I'm not really a negative person, and I don't get depressed. I don't mean I'm better than anybody else. I got my own problems, but that's why I'm there for a lot of my friends, because I don't get depressed. I'm thankful every day for what I have. I'm thankful for my friends and family. When I do start thinking that a little bit negative, I think about the people who don't have shit. And then I'm like, man, I'm blessed. What the fuck do I got to be complaining about, Because there's people out there way worse than I am with a positive attitude. So I don't know of any negatives. I can't think, out the top of my head, other than me not being able to go to the gym, I don't know any negatives out here. I mean, it's been, I'll probably get hit with a meteor tomorrow, but I mean, it's been fucking phenomenal these 15 months. I mean, no complaints. It's been amazing. It's really nervous when I go to a new place though, because, you know, you're packing up 6 dogs by myself. I'm pulling a 30-foot trailer that's heavy as hell. I got my motor. Okay, I'm back. The GoPro got hot in the shade. I don't know. So I had to stop, cool it down, started the fire behind me, get ready for some steak. Anyway, I'm trying to think what I was talking about. Oh, I got you now. I got it. So the advantages and disadvantages, mainly the disadvantages. So I said there's really none, mainly just not being able to go to the gym. But there's another one, because I am single, and it's it's funny when I go to bars and restaurants and I start talking to different women, and they say, you know, what are you doing, you know, whatever. So, and I say, well, you know, I travel full time in my trailer, you know. That doesn't really sound good on the surface, you know. Now the ones that start talking to me a little bit, they'll understand the whole story, that, you know, I'm pretty successful in business, a couple degrees, everything's paid off, you know, money saved up, you know, pretty respectful, nice person. And I'm not trying to tout myself or nothing like that. I'm not a egotistical person, but just telling them about the facts, you know. But it's funny talking to women. And I've always known that, you know, mostly my whole life, women didn't want, you know, nice, respectable guys. They wanted the dirtbags that are homeless, going from job to job. That's just been my experience. And it's just funny. So it is difficult to meet people on the road, because not many people want to, you know, meet you or date you if they know you're leaving in a few weeks. And I understand that. But the good thing about what I do is if some crazy reason the world's going to end and I meet the girl of my dreams, you know, I do have that option to stay where I'm at, you know. I got enough money saved up, I can buy land wherever I want to, you know. But they don't look at it that way, and I don't tell them that, you know. So it is what it is. The good thing is I've been alone almost my whole life, so I'm perfectly fine with doing that. You got to be able to be by yourself in order to be with somebody else. You know, if you can live with yourself, you can live with anybody. And I say that to the people that bounce from one relationship to another just because they need somebody, and they end up finding somebody that is not the right person for them, to say it nicely, and they go through hell. They live a crazy ass life, and they're upset, depressed all the time. But at the end of the day, they got somebody, you know. I'm totally, completely not like that, you know. If I date somebody, it's because I want to be with them, not because I need to be with them, you know. There's a difference. So, you know, not being able to go to the gym, you know, sometimes, you know, not being able to meet people on the road. And there's really only 2 disadvantages. That's it that I can think of. But let me grab my phone and look at my talking points to make sure I didn't miss anything. One thing I wanted to tell a story is a quick story. When I was helping my dad out in his shop, this guy came in, and we got to talking, and I kind of told him what I was doing, you know. I told him I'm here temporary, just helping people out, you know. He said, what do you do? I said, well, I travel full time, you know, I work remotely and stuff like that. And he had just retired, I think 6 months before, from FedEx after 30 years. And after he retired, right after he retired, his back went out. And he said, I barely can walk from the truck to where you're at right now, to the counter. And I'm saying to myself the whole time, like, that's why I do what I do. You know, when I took Leroy in, knowing he could have, you know, not made it through the surgery or something like that, that might have been his last day, or family members and friends, you know, it's their last day, or some people that I see on Facebook getting diagnosed with terminal cancer or any kind of general terminal disease. Every time I see like something like that, it reinforces what I'm doing, you know. Sorry, I'm trying to watch these people over here doing donuts. He's doing a donut in a 4-wheeler. All right. By himself. Anyway, that reinforces what I'm doing, you know, and I just hope those people that are in that situation got a chance to live life, you know. I hope. But that's a little FedEx story that guy told me about. I'm like, man, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, you know. What else we got? Yeah, that's about it. So, oh yeah, I put a note here about the BLM land for the people who do not, somebody call me? Yeah, for the people who do not, like my friends and family back home who do not know about BLM land. So there's 247.3 million acres primarily out west. I don't know if that's BLM or National Forest or combined. I didn't write that down. So that's 247 million potential acres you could stay at for 2 to 3 weeks at a time, you know. So you could live full-time like I'm doing and a lot of other people by doing that and still traveling and get a chance to see the different areas of the west, you know. You're not going to do this much out east because they don't have that stuff out east or in the south, unfortunately. But out west, millions of acres you can stay at for free. I said Sheridan earlier on the Wyoming. It's the Black Hills and Sundance. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out where I'm at. I skipped. No, when I was in South Dakota, in the Black Hills, I went to Sundance, Wyoming, the Black Hills. And then after that, I went to the Bighorn, which is in Sheridan. That's it. I'm getting confused because I've been to so many places. I'm trying to track all this. You can see the logo I put together for all of us, Doggone Nomads. And I created a Facebook page, Instagram page, YouTube, Rumble, something else. And I'm trying to do a weekly video, so to update everyone. I'm not doing this for views or for money. I'm just doing it to primarily, like I said earlier, for me and the dogs. If we get views and whatever else, you know, it is what it is. I really hate social media, but you know, I do want to keep everybody updated. Like I said, maybe inspire some people to make a change in their life and maybe, you know, do something like this, hopefully. I don't know. But right now, everything is good. Hopefully everything will come back on the test for Leroy and Buddy. And we're leaving here, going to, I got a couple of places about 3 hours away up north in Colorado. I don't even remember the names, but we'll head up there. And I want to do a big loop, Colorado, like Wyoming, Montana, Oregon. That's as far as I've got. And I could do a big loop and come back around. Oh, here's my next what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I love what I'm doing. I wish I could do this the rest of my life, which I can if I wanted to. But I'm always looking for something better. Not that I'm unhappy where I'm at, but why not, you know? So I'm like, what would be better than this? I know, a 45-foot trawler boat that has like 3 bedrooms, you know, that I can go up and down the coast or up and down the river or doing what they call the Great Loop or the ICW going all the way through the US. I'm like, hell yeah. You know, stay close to land so I can pull up, let the dogs out, do what they need to do, jump back on the boat. The boat's big enough for family and friends to come visit. Right now, I can't, you know, I can go see people technically, but I can't have anybody to come visit me, you know. So I'm like, next year, that is my goal, to get anywhere from a 40 to 50 foot trawler or a catamaran. I really want a catamaran, but I don't know. I think a trawler is going to be a better fit for us. Not a newer one. The newer ones are like 600,000 and 700,000. I can't afford that, but more of an older one. But stay close to land. I can dock it, hit some tiki bars up, let the dogs run around on some of the, you know, the islands off the coast. And I'm talking about going up and down the Gulf, all the way down to, you know, the west side of Florida, down the Caribbean, Bahamas and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, and if people could be with me. I'm like, hey, if you're not doing nothing for the next week, jump on the boat with me. We're going to the Bahamas. you know, going to the Caribbean. Because I'll have Starlink as well, so I'll still be able to do work every day. Anyway, I'm thinking about doing that as well. If not, I'll do this for the next 10, 15 years. I don't care. The reason being, not say the reason being, but you know, I told somebody the other day is like buying a house, another house to me is like death. And I don't know why I think like this, but it's like if I buy a house, my life's over with, because I know I'm pretty much going to be stuck at this fucking place doing the same shit every single day, and I cannot do that. I was not built for that in life. I could not work on an assembly line. I have done it before, don't get me wrong, but like I could not go in and do the same thing every day. That's why I love what we do with Absolute. You know, we can, you know, we do something's different every single day. I don't care if you're doing apparel, custom koozies, you know, coffee cups, business cards, mouse pads, it doesn't matter. Something's different every single day, and I love that. So, but to me, you know, getting a house and settling down like that is like, to me, it's death. It's like, because you're stuck there the rest of your life, you know. What else is there to look forward to? I gotta go to the same fucking house every single day, mow the same fucking yard every fucking week, clean the same dishes, same sink every single day, and it's like, to me, it's like, I mean, that's like insanity or hell to me. And I know it sounds weird, but it's just what it is. So that's why I like going like every few weeks. Like I will literally, I'll get tired of this place in 2 weeks. And I'm like, I'll start itching to go, you know. That's the way it is. But that's about it, I think. I don't know of anything else to say. That's why I chose to go sell everything I have and travel full time with 6 dogs. Friends, family getting sick, passing away, working 80 plus hours a week for 4 or 5 years straight. House going on the market, house, you know, the increase in the price of my house. That's about it. And another good thing is I can go see my friends if I want to. Before I really couldn't. You know, I couldn't take my dogs with me. You know, I didn't have anybody really to watch my dogs. So, I mean, you know, technically, I can go see any friend I want. You know, just take this trailer. As long as I got a place to park this trailer. That's another good thing, because, you know, friends and family mean a lot to me. And they mean a lot to me than a lot of other people, you know, because I don't have a wife and kids. So my friends are my family. You know, when other people, you know, hey, got a wife and kids and they're my friends, I got you, I understand, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, I can put them first before anybody else, you know, other than my dogs. But anyway, I'm rambling on, but I just wanted to close with thanking everyone who's been following us, primarily my family and friends that I just talked about. And I really hope that I inspire somebody to do something to break up the monotony in their life and the hardship that they're enduring. Because I know a lot of people out there are doing that. They're going through hell. And it's not always easy to just jump up and sell everything and hit the road. I understand that. But I done that because I worked for years and years. Hold on, that reminds me of one other thing. I've had a few friends, and they didn't know any better. They didn't mean nothing by it, but they're like, it must be nice to do what you're doing. And I didn't say nothing. I said, yeah, it is, man, you know. But they don't understand the amount of work that went behind getting me to my point right now. And that's the problem with a lot of people in life. They see somebody who's successful or doing something fun and cool, and they're jealous. Or as I call them, they're haters, you know. They hate on them. But you didn't see, it's like Gary Vaynerchuk, another influencer, you know, I used to listen to all the time. You know, very, very successful influencer, very successful businessman. But he spent like 16 years on a wine channel just talking to nobody, you know, trying to build stuff up. So for like, I think it's 16 years, he said, nobody listened to him. But when people see him nowadays, all they see is a successful businessman / influencer, and they hate on him. They don't see the 16 years of hard work he put behind getting where he's at right now. So when people see me, they see, okay, this dude's traveling a different place every few weeks. Does he even work? Yeah, motherfucker. Man, I spent 5 years working 80 plus hours a week, 3 years 80 plus hours a week in Kabul. Before that, 2 years working, you know, traveling to different places every week or two. Is like, I mean, I spent many of years saving up money to get where I'm at right now, you know? And a lot of times it's hard knowing that my friends and family aren't here. But at the same time, you know, they could be here if they wanted to. If you want to. You know, people complain to me about things all the time, and I say, you're not upset about it. And they're like, why do you say that? I said, because you're not doing anything about it. You know, I didn't like my situation, so what did I do? I worked hard to get out of my situation and where I'm at now, you know? So maybe not right now you can go and sell everything and hit the road, but if you put some goals in place, you may be able to do it in a few years. If that's what you want to do. Like right now, I want to get a nice 45-foot trawler or catamaran. You know what I'm doing every day? I'm working my ass off. I got those goals, you know? That's what I want to do. I may not do it next year. I want to do it next year. May not do it next year. Maybe the year after. Who knows? But hopefully we'll inspire somebody to hit the road and, or just make some changes in life, you know? And so they can be a happier person like Angel is. All right, I've rambled on long enough. I didn't want this to be a negative video, but I did want to make a few points. But I'm always positive pretty much, but sometimes you got to tell the truth about some shit. I love you. Give me a kiss. I love you. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Thank you very much. Bye.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me. I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be. Life with no distractions. We'll get away. This is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out. Die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me. Be free. Now